If your daily dog walk feels more like a wrestling match than a relaxing stroll, you are in exactly the right place. We're about to dive into why your dog reacts on the leash, and more importantly, give you the tools to turn those stressful moments into a real partnership. You ready to tame that leash? Okay, let's get into it. So, does this picture hit a little too close to home? That sudden jolt on the leash, that feeling of dread when you see another dog or a car coming your way? Your knuckles go white, your arm is probably aching. Yeah, you're not just walking your dog, you're bracing for impact. And trust me, you are so not alone in this. For way too many of us, the walk has become something to dread, not something to enjoy. You know, you're constantly scanning the horizon, you've got this death grip on the leash, and you just feel embarrassed when it all goes south. It is exhausting. But here's the really good news. Once you understand the why behind all that chaos, you can start to get your walks back. All this stuff, the lunging, the barking, the chasing, these aren't just, bad habits. They are signs that your dog is totally overwhelmed and is really struggling to cope. And here's maybe the biggest mindset shift you need to make. Your dog is not giving you a hard time, they're having a hard time. So, why? Why are they doing this? This is where we have to completely reframe how we look at the problem. For years, we've been told it's all about dominance or being defiant. But honestly, that's just a total misreading of what's actually going on inside our dogs' heads. And this right here is the absolute heart of it. It's not about dominance, it's about emotion. Your dog is not trying to take over the household. They're scared, or they're way too excited, or they're just acting on pure, unfiltered doggy instinct. Once you really get that, I'm telling you, everything starts to change. Which brings us to the real root of it all, impulse. You see, these reactions, they aren't really a choice. They're more like a reflex. And we can't just erase these instincts. They're hardwired. But what we can do is teach our dogs how to manage them. The goal isn't to suppress the behavior, it's to teach self-control. So how do we do that? Well, we can't just yell at them to stop barking and lunging. We have to go deeper. We have to actually change the feeling, the emotion that's causing that reaction to begin with. And this is where it gets really, really cool. All right, let's try a little thought experiment, just to put ourselves in our dog's paws for a second. Let's say you are terrified of spiders, primal fear, and you spot a big one right over there across the room. Your heart starts pounding, right? Your palms get sweaty. You are on high alert. Now imagine I step in front of you, block your view of the spider, and say, hey, stop it. Just look at me. It's fine. Is your fear just gonna vanish? No way. In fact, you'd probably feel even more anxious because now you can't even see the threat. Well, that's kind of what we do every time we just tell our dogs no without dealing with the fear behind it. Okay, but let's flip this script. What if every single time you looked at that spider, I walked over and handed you a crisp $10 bill? The first few times, yeah, you'd probably still be freaked out, but hey, you'd take the money. And after a little while, something amazing would start to happen. The sight of that spider would stop predicting fear, and it would start predicting a reward. You might even find yourself looking for the spider, hoping to see it. That is exactly what we're going to do for our dogs. We're going to change that scary feeling into a happy one. Okay, so that spider analogy makes sense in theory, but how do we actually do it in real life? Well, let's put it into practice. This is where we turn that aha moment into real progress with a couple of simple but super powerful training games. First up, we have the Look at That game. It's so easy. From a safe distance, and that part's key, the second your dog sees a trigger, you say yes, and immediately give them an amazing treat. Over time, that scary thing goes from being a cause for panic to a signal that something delicious is coming from you. You are literally rewiring their brain. Next up, for all you pullers out there, we have red light, green light. The idea is dead simple. A loose leash means we walk, a tight leash means we stop. Dead in our tracks. The dog learns super fast that pulling actually stops the fun, and keeping the leash loose is what makes the walk happen. They're basically teaching themselves. And really, all of this comes down to a whole new way of thinking, which trainer Grisha Stewart sums up perfectly. It's not about us controlling the dog, it's about empowering them. We're teaching our dogs that they have choices, that they can do things that help them feel safe and confident. Now, these training games are fantastic, but they don't work in a vacuum. To really get this right, we have to set our dogs up for success from the get-go. And that means managing their environment and, using the right tools. Management is probably the most important and honestly the most overlooked first step. It just means you stop putting your dog in situations where you know they're going to react. See, every time your dog lunges and barks, that behavior gets stronger. So for a while, find quiet places to walk. This isn't avoiding the problem, it's creating a classroom where your dog can actually learn. And you know what? The right equipment can be a total game changer. For a really strong puller, a head collar can give you gentle control, kind of like reins on a horse. But for other dogs, like pugs or Frenchies, a good harness is a much safer bet. The goal is just to find the tool that gives you control without making your dog uncomfortable or unsafe. So when you put all these pieces together, you understand the emotion, you play these positive training games, and you manage the environment, you can totally change the entire dynamic of your daily walk and your relationship with your dog. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. That leash doesn't have to be a tool for restraint. It can be a connection, a line of communication between you two. We're not just trying to get a good dog, we're trying to build a real partnership based on trust. So I'll just leave you with this thought. I know it feels like a huge mountain to climb right now, but working through this together, with patience and with understanding, it's an incredible opportunity to build a bond with your dog that you never even thought was possible. What if this challenge isn't a problem, but a path to your strongest connection yet?